right just pulled the forms off of these last 4 steps. You can see 3.5 inches. Basically used 2x4s, 2x2 squares, and about 3 bags of Quikrete per step. And you can tell that it was pretty fresh when I ripped these forms off, and it's got some really rough edges, but I'm not even worried about it because I'm going to cover all of these with cement all, pure cement, to give it a smoother finish. They look like your store-bought pavers, but way nicer and way stronger. These babies are a demolition nightmare. Each one weighs like 150 pounds probably. They ain't going nowhere. I think they look pretty freaking nice. These are the 2x4 forms I've been using. Pretty straightforward. Using vegetable oil. Coat the insides with a rag. Pour the concrete in. I mean, obviously first you want to get the ground level as best you can. I ran a string from that end to here before I placed the forms. That way I'll have a straight line leading up to the pavers here, and then eventually I'm going to extend the paver there to the trash can area and out the gate. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna let these set up. Yep. Set for about a week. And then I'm gonna top coat them with the cement all. Give it a really nice finished look. So I'm really not worried about these corners. So I'm gonna just trowel those up nicely by hand. There's Missy giving them a test. You can tell somebody already put their paw while it was wet. Naughty girl. So yeah, just leveled out this area for this form. You can see that my line is good there, but I've got a little bit of a gap. So what I need to do is put some dirt under here and raise that corner up, and then level it both sides, make sure it's all level, squared away with the line. And then I'll use a tamp right here, tamp down the dirt, and yeah, move on to the next one. What I've been doing for my spacing is a really simple method. I use one piece of 2x4, one paver brick, which is 6-inch paver, and then the next form gives me a 9-inch gap. And then on the next one, I just do another paver. I just had these laying around, so might as well use them. And I haven't graded out the next section yet, but basically you would put the next one in line like that. Use some stakes to hold the forms in place, mix concrete, pour it up. Okay, now I've got my 4 forms roughly in place using the string. I would make sure this left side is level with the string and in line, and then use the level to go this way. And basically just, if I had to braze it up any, I'd lift it up, shove some dirt, pack it under there, and basically just holds the form in place until I get the concrete poured. Now I have a really solid clay soil that has been compacted for over a year now. I'm not really worried, but if you have a loose soil, you may want to use gravel or DG as your base for the concrete, but I really don't think I need it. Yeah, so next step is to stake in the forms, and that'll just hold them in place when I'm pouring the concrete so they don't move. And if they do move a little bit, it's not a huge deal, because I've found I'm able to wiggle the pavers just a little bit by hand, or with like I was actually using a toe strap, wrap it around one and pulling it, and yeah, I'll be able to make any minor adjustments later. All right, got the concrete bags all laid out. Just wanted to show you guys what tools I'm using to do the actual concrete. I bought this mixer from Home Depot. It's treated me well so far. Did that entire patio back there with this. But before I had the mixer, I probably did about 25 of these steps in a wheelbarrow. So you don't need the mixer, it certainly helps. To me, it was worth $300. Other than that, use a 2x4 to screed off excess concrete, a bladeless sawzall to vibrate the forms. Gets out those air bubbles, especially in the corners. It's gonna help make it stronger. And then just a cheap old trowel, you know, to kind of level it out and smooth things off. So yeah, I'm gonna get to mixing. Let's go. So we got it all poured, screeded, and vibrated, and we're just gonna let this set up and start mixing the next one. If you're only doing a one-step concrete and you're not gonna do the cement topping like I do, you will probably want to get this looking a little smoother. So just take your trowel and go over it, I don't know, every hour or so until it's really set up. And what I do, and I'm definitely no concrete expert, and it's gonna be hard to do with one hand. Let me switch here. Basically, just gliding across, lifting the front lip up so it doesn't snag. Front and back, and side to side. And once you're happy, just let it set up. All right, moving on. Okay, so we've hit our forms with the hammers to break free from the freshly poured concrete. And we're gonna get ready to pry up these forms. Yesterday they came off pretty easy. We had some damage to the corners, but we're not worried about that because we are going to top coat this with the Cementol Rapid Set. My goal is to get these last steps done as soon as possible. So rather than worry about making these look perfect, I'm just gonna pull them off now so I can reuse the forms today. I still have about 3 more to go right here to get to those pavers, and then eventually we're gonna extend the pavers out to the trash cans and out to the front yard. All right, here we go. So I've been using a pickaxe and it just pulls it up so easy. Just wedge it under each corner, pull it up a little bit at a time. You don't want to pull too far. If you pull too far, you can break your forms, you can damage the new concrete. If you had more time on your hands, I would probably let the forms or the concrete set for a couple days. Make sure it's really strong. You have less chance of damage then. But yeah, so I got it most of the way up here, and now I can pull it up by hand. And you can see there's dog prints from letting the dogs out last night. Again, not really worried about it because we're gonna top coat all of these steps. Did these 4 yesterday, those 4 the day before. Yeah, it's looking good. Okay, we've got the forms off. Again, minor damage to the corners because this concrete is actually pretty wet still. It's been just under 24 hours. It's very cool outside, very humid, so the concrete's not setting up very quick, but that's okay. We're gonna let this actually cure for a week. Next weekend, we're gonna top coat everything with Cementol, give it a really nice finished look to match the rest. Day 1, day 2, day 3. So these last 3 steps have been setting up for about 2 hours now. Still pretty wet, but I think I'm going to try to make these as smooth and as nice as I can and let them sit in the forms for a few days and not be so rough with these ones as I was with the others, just to show you guys that, you know, it is possible to get a pretty decent result without the skim coat with the Cementol on top. But yeah, generally I don't really mind if they come out looking rough because they're just a solid base for what's to come. Hey guys, okay, it's been about a week now and just pulled off the forms a couple days ago. These were the last 3 steps that I kind of worked extra smooth with the trowel. You can see like right there, it's real smooth, real nice. And the corners are much sharper from leaving the forms on for a few extra days. Molly approves. This one's one that I didn't leave the form on very long, and see the concrete wasn't very strong when the forms came off. Damaged that corner. But doesn't matter because today we are going to top coat each step with the Cementol Rapid Set. It's basically a powder cement, bonds really well to concrete and clean surfaces. And it's really strong and it sets up really quick, and it's gonna allow me to clean up all these steps, get them all looking about the same, fix any of those damaged corners. And yeah, then after that I'll seal it up with some concrete sealer and then we're done. Okay, so I've tried this a few different ways. I've tried to mix large batches of Cementol and pour it onto 2 or 3 squares at a time, and the problem I was having it was getting set up by the time I even got to the second square, so I was really just wasting a lot of Cementol. And the way I found to do this best, it's just what worked for me, you might have to figure out what works for you. Take a quart of dry powder, about half a quart, and literally just pouring it until there's a thin coverage. Yeah, I'm just gonna dump the rest because I know I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna get rid of any of these little chunks I had because of the rain ruined my bag. Get that spread out. Okay, looks good. Okay, and then I get a garden hose, put it onto fan mode, and then I'm just going to do a quick, really quick spray over the whole step. Okay, and it's looking pretty good. And then I'm just gonna trowel it up. And I'm basically just mixing. These dry spots wet. But you get the idea. I'm gonna add some more real quick and get it cleaned up and probably put some thicker siding on here on these corners. Okay, so in my little container, I mixed up a little thick batch of Simmental and worked some into this corner, that corner, and here. And then I took the remainder and I went ahead and did the next step corners in advance. This one had a bad blowout. And what I'm gonna do now is just work all the back corners now and then go back over with the skim coat, because that seems to be the better way. I don't want to keep mixing it up. I just want to throw some powder on the steps, spray it with water, and then trowel it out to a smoother finish. And what you can do to really clean up the edges before it's fully set, take your trowel and scrape off the edge, and that's going to give you a real nice line. And sharper corners. Yep, and yep, we're going to leave some of this natural texture in here because we are going for a more natural step look. Every step's different. This is one that's already been done. I think it looks really nice. Okay, so I got a few more steps, corners puttied up with the thick stuff. This is a really bad corner. This one's not great, but there's at least something there to grab onto when I top coat it. That'll patch up a little bit. All right, y'all, I went ahead and finished up the rest. It's really hard to film and do this, but you get the idea. Fill in any big chunks and then skim coat them, work it out. You got about 10-15 minutes max work time with this stuff, but now you can see they all look much more square, consistent pattern, consistent color all the way through. Looks good. I'm happy. All right, I just went over all the steps with a healthy coat of concrete sealer. This is gonna help allow the concrete to last longer, look nicer. Yeah, that was the final step. So probably get a shot of it once it's all dry and done, maybe with the gravel back in place. Alrighty, so the concrete sealer has set up for more than 24 hours now, and so I was able to rake back some rock and hose everything off, get it nice and cleaned up. Yep, I'm upstream, but I may need to add more rocks because I actually like it to be level to the steps with the rocks, that way there's no tripping, and then kind of after a while the rocks get compacted down, so you definitely want a good amount there. You can see on the left side it's not all the way up, but it's pretty close. This side is pretty good. yeah, I think it looks awesome.